What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Edward, and on Instagram I go by Trail Ready Forerunner. Welcome. All right, let's get into part 2 of this video. So in this video, we're going to go over how to repair the wood grain on your steering wheel. So in part 1, we went over repairing your leather and getting rid of any peeling or imperfection. Now we're going to move on to the wood portion of your steering wheel. And what we're going to try to do is get rid of any of these cracks. And these cracks are caused by sun hitting the steering wheel. And all this is a polyurethane that's coated over the wood grain, and over time with sun it eventually cracks. So the process we're going to take to repair this is we're going to take some sandpaper, lightly sand everything, get rid of all these bumps and grooves that we feel. Once we do that, we're going to go ahead and apply our wipe on poly that we have here. I'll go ahead and link this down below so you guys can pick this one up. As long as it's a wipe on poly, because we're going to apply it with a rag, you should be good. I also looked into water base versus oil base, and they do pretty much the same thing, but water base is like more of a clearer coat, so you don't get a slight yellow tint to it. So we're going to try the water base and see how it goes. Okay, so let's get started with this. We're gonna need some painter tape, any painter tape of your choice. And what this is gonna help us do is, again, like we did for the leather where we taped the wood, now we're gonna go ahead and tape the leather off, so when we're sanding we don't accidentally rub into this leather. And we're also going to use 2 different grits of sandpaper. So we're going to start off with 1000 grit and then get all the imperfections off, apply clear coat, hit it with 1000, and then move on to 1200. You can go finer if you want. This is totally up to you. So let's start taping off the steering wheel. All right, we're all set with the taping of the steering wheel, and you don't have to tape the whole thing just because we're not spraying anything. It's going to be a wipe on, and then when we're sanding, we're not going to go crazy with it. We're just, you know, touching the edge here. So this should be fine. Let's move on to sanding now and getting rid of all these imperfections. You can use a brush if you have one to kind of see if it'll get into the cracks and brush out any small debris. Or if you have an air compressor, go ahead and just blow it out. All right, so once you got all that sanded, we're gonna move on to the next step now. And this is to get a regular rag, your wipe on poly. Put a little bit on your rag. And all we're gonna do is start applying it all over the whole steering wheel. And you don't need too much. So this should dry fairly quickly. So go ahead and apply it to the back side of the steering wheel. I'm sorry, the bottom side of the steering wheel. And every polyurethane is different. So go ahead and read to see how long it's going to take to dry. So this one says about 2 to 3 hours. So go ahead and let this dry and we'll come back. We'll give it a light sanding and I'll show you guys what it looks like. If you're kind of in a rush and you want to get this done quickly, it's about 70 degrees where I'm at right now. And it's already dry to the touch. We could speed up the process by using a blow dryer. So go ahead and hit it with hot air. And this should cure the polyurethane a lot quicker. We're gonna go ahead and touch it to see where we're at. It's pretty smooth. Once that's dry, we're gonna move to the 1200 grit sandpaper. We're gonna give this a really light sanding, and then we're gonna apply the second coat. Now wipe off all the dust created by the sandpaper. We're going to move on to our second coat. You don't want too much of this stuff because you don't want to make any drip marks or anything. All we're doing is applying a light coat. Go ahead and let this dry. All right, so I went ahead and applied 3 coats. And this last coat, I'm gonna let it air dry. I'm not gonna apply any heat. All right, so we're back. So after about 3 hours of letting this dry and cure, the poly looks the same as if you would blow dry it. I just wanted to test to make sure it wouldn't shine brighter if we just let it sit. Visually, it looks the same as when we air dried it. I mean, use the blow dryer to dry it. it feels super smooth, like really smooth. It will probably harden even more if I let it sit a little bit longer. Of course, it depends on the temperature of the air, humidity, and all that plays a role, but it feels really smooth. Unfortunately, you do see the cracks still. I don't think there's a way to get rid of those, just because I'm pretty sure dirt and debris gets inside of that. So maybe if we would have scrubbed it down with alcohol, that might work, but I really doubt it, because there's probably a bunch of like really tight dirt lodged in there, or oils. But as far as to the touch, it feels really good. So you can do this as maintenance if you notice that your steering wheel has slight cracks in it and you want to prevent them from cracking even more. I would do this process to kind of refurbish your steering wheel, and it comes out really good. I'm super surprised. I was a little unsure on how this portion was going to come out too, but I'm really happy with the turnout. Let's start taking off the tape and we're pretty much done, and we can throw this in the vehicle. But that's the last step in refurbishing your wooden and leather steering wheel. All right, so those are all the steps to get your steering wheel restored to like new. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.